In this episode of reDefine, we continue our talk with food and travel photographer Penny de los Santos, where she shares her 3 best pieces of advice, including how to get a mentor even if they don't seem to want the job. And we dig into an on-assignment story where seemingly all hope is lost. Check out our very cool TedX Austin mashup for this photography cliffhanger.
Special thanks to our sponsors Adorama, the photography people, and T1 Line, the voice and data solution experts.
If you want to dream big and leap in your career and really just push it and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, I might as well do it. What are 3 pieces of advice you'd give to them related to either business or shooting or just courage?
The first thing I'd do is I'd find mentors. And that may be really hard. I think it's hard to find mentors. It's really hard because people aren't comfortable with that position. Even my mentor, who I say, hey, you know you're my mentor, she's like, I'm going to kick your ass. If you call me that one more time, she does. She's like 60, and she's a badass.
Yeah, and she's just uncomfortable with the...
She's really uncomfortable. I think it makes, and I get that. I think it makes you feel a little committed where you're like, hey, my life's already too intense.
I didn't ask to be your mentor, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you might not want to call them that.
Yeah.
I mean, you just like, hey, you know what? You're a touchstone for me, so...
Oh, that's a much better term.
That's it.
Yeah,
you know, and maybe you don't need to say that to him. Maybe you're just like, hey, every so often I'm going to send you a bunch of my pictures, and maybe after 2 or 3 years, you'll actually respond.
Yeah.
Or maybe after I buy you several drinks, every time I see you, you'll be nice to me, and I don't know.
No, but that's good advice because I think people have the desire and they feel held back by their insecurity, or they feel like I don't want to like push myself on you.
Eventually that person's gonna, I had to do that. I had to do that with 3 of the main mentors in my life.
Right. So get a mentor, yeah.
And I'm still like that with them, you know? Yeah. I mean, now we're friends.
Yeah, you call me all the time.
Yeah. I do.
Second one.
You don't text me back, though.
I know. Yes, I did.
When I said I'd bring you wine. Though.
Yes, I was very happy.
See, that's the other thing. You always bring the person something. That's another thing. You
bring a gift. Bring a gift to the mentor. Okay, that's actually 1A. That's 1A.
We would say an offering.
An offering.
It's an offering.
Yes, which was very appreciated.
And it worked. I'm on the show. You got to self-assign your dream assignment. Mm-hmm. I had my mentor tell me that. He doesn't talk to me anymore, but that's beside the point. Tamara, I know you've always wanted to go to Guadalajara.
Yes, I love Guadalajara. Yes.
So you should say, you know what? I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna bring my family, and I'm gonna spend a week there, and I'm gonna hang with my kids for an hour.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna go shoot for the rest of the time.
And wish them luck.
Yeah. So you go do it. And there's a group, my Creative Live group, the 6 photographers I chose. So I'm kind of mentoring them.
Yes.
You know? So we have like do a little Google Plus video chat like once a month. This one guy is like, I really want to grow, but I can't get people to look at my portfolio, and then my pictures aren't good enough, and how do I grow? And I was like, dude, give yourself an assignment every month, a really good one.
Yeah. Be
good to yourself and make it visual. You know, that's the hard part. Is we just think, oh, it's a great story, but it's not visual. So that's the other thing. So practice every time, every day if you can.
Okay.
So I practice with my iPhone. I practice every day. I'm always taking iPhone photos.
I really find that, in all honesty, I find that when I sign up for Instagram, I try to take at least a photograph a day, and I don't necessarily post every one, but I make sure I get something, and I make it all about composition, light, framing, etc. And I love that.
The third one is, and I truly believe this.
Yes.
I think if you're going to be inspired, if you're going to make inspiring photographs, if you're ever going to say anything behind the camera, if you're ever going to have a visual voice, if you're ever going to have a visual style, if you're ever going to make a picture that has anything of emotion or intent or feeling or mood, anything, you need to be able to do that with yourself. So you need to be clear enough in who you are as a person. So if your life isn't right, you're unhappy, you're not in the right relationship, your job sucks, are your pictures really going to ever be there? I don't know. So I think you need to live a full life. I think you need to look at every part of your life, because I think that really does, as a photographer, I think any artist would say this, it really does impact how you see and how you make pictures.
It does.
Totally.
It does completely. No, and I mean, it's the idea of getting right with yourself before you can truly deliver fully on your art. Yes. Totally. But I don't think a lot of people know that or get it or believe it.
Well, and I think it takes a while to get there. It's taken me a while. I think you always kind of reshaping that and redefining it. Redefine.
Huh? Redefine. Can we keep the music in this part?
No, I think you're always doing that. And that's part of living a creative life.
Yeah. But it really is like the idea that if you have a lot of a mess of stuff going on in your life, or there's this disconnect between what you believe and what you're living, that does show up in your art.
Totally does.
And it doesn't mean that you have to be all perfect before you can make great photographs, but you at least need to be cognizant of where the gaps are.
Right.
To be able to close them in your work and to be able to almost make up for the things that you're still figuring out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do, but I think it's also just being open enough to realize, hey, I don't have it figured out.
Yes.
And I also know I'm not happy.
Right.
So let me just go into this photo situation and know that my life isn't perfect, but I'm open to whatever it may be. So this is an assignment I did in Lebanon.
Yes.
It was
Which, first of all, great scene setter.
great scene
Yes.
setter.
Setter. Scene setter. Setter.
It was for Sever.
Yes.
And so they sent me to Beirut. And it
Okay.
was a story on these Iraqi refugees who are all fleeing from the war.
Yes.
They're all men,
Okay.
young men.
Yeah.
And so they have like two options. You either fight against the occupying forces or you don't, and
Okay.
so your opportunities, I mean, your life is pretty bad.
Yeah. It's
So-
like literally fight or flight.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And so they're fleeing to the neighboring countries, Lebanon being one. We can't be with the men in daylight hours. We have to be with them in their apartment when no one can see us. It's during Ramadan. It's a food story during Ramadan, which
So
means
everybody's hungry.
but what it really means is there's one meal that's eaten.
Yes.
So it's a food story, and there's one chance that I have to really photograph the culture around this food, right?
Yes.
It's not great. You
Right.
spend all this money, get this photographer there, fly them there, and then give them one shot to make this picture.
Yeah.
You know, the odds are hopefully okay, but that's not a great thing to walk into. I'm with them during the day. We get back to their apartment. You know, my headscarf comes off, and they're cooking. I'm starting to make pictures. We're all starving. I'm starving. They're not eating until sundown, you know. Sun goes down. I hear the call to prayer, and I'm like, yes, okay, finally. I see these guys starting to, take some trash bags. They're cutting them up, and they're making a tablecloth on the floor. Okay, so they're creating this beautiful table setting, right? They start to bring out the food, you know. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm already in my mind thinking, okay, here's my sense of place. I'm going to get up high. I'm going to get on this chair. I'm going to shoot wide. I'm going to see this group of men. Immediately, it puts them in an apartment, desolate, quiet. You see the food. It says immediately foreign country. I think it starts to say something about the Middle East. I'm starting to really visually think about this moment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The food comes out. The guys come out. Then all of a sudden,
The entire room went black. I couldn't even see my hand in front of me. My interpreter yelled my name, Penny, it's okay, it's okay, it's the electricity, it's just gone out.
I can't strobe because if they see flashbulbs going off, they're like people on watch, you know, on
Right,
the rooftops.
right.
They'll be at this apartment in seconds.
This assignment was over, I was done, I lost the picture.
And then all of a sudden these guys come out with candles from the closet and they start lighting candles and they light the entire table setting with these candles, and the men sit down and it illuminates their faces.
It showed this mood, it gave this intimacy that I never could have imagined. It was perfect. That was the picture. That was the moment.
It was one of the most amazing moments in my career, period, because of being able to sit at that table with those guys. It never would have ever happened as a woman, as a journalist, as a Westerner, any of that.
Yeah.
You know? To sit at that table, to make their portrait, to make that picture in that moment, in that way, to have that 1/30th of a second with them.
Is that the stuff where you have the goosebumps and the kind of like, I'm doing the right thing and this is where I need to be?
That's the moment where I realize I love what I do. I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing because of this experience. But it's also changed me too. Like I go back to my life and I sit at a table and I'm like, wow, you know, that's a moment of a lifetime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. Join us next time as we have a never seen him like this before talk with photographer and tutorial guru, Mark Wallace. In the meantime, though, take your lighting kit into the 21st century, finally, with the Rotolight. This ring light can mount on your video camera and your DSLR. It provides a naturally warm, shadowless light, and you know we love our dimmability. Yes, it's dimmable. The provided gels help you achieve perfect tungsten and daylight color balance too. Grab your Rhodolite at Adorama.com.